Hello and welcome. In today's data driven world, the role of business analysts and data analysts have become increasingly important. But what exactly do they do and how do they differ? In this video, we will explore the work, the business significance, and key responsibilities of business analyst and data analyst. So let's get started. So let's understand who a business analyst is. So business analysts are professionals who bridge the gap between business needs and technology solutions. Their primary role is to analyze business processes, identify areas of improvement, and propose solutions to enhance efficiency and productivity. So in this picture, what you see on your screen, the guy with the red tie is the business analyst. He's like a bridge between business on the left and the technology on the right. So business analyst works as a liaison among stakeholders in order to elicit, analyze, communicate, and validate requirements for changes to business processes, policies, and information systems. Coming to data analysts, focus on collecting, processing, and analyzing data to uncover valuable insights. They're experts in using statistical techniques and software to interpret complex data and provide meaningful conclusions. So they work to create dashboards which can help to create insights about a business. Now, if you look at a business, there are a lot of constraints under which a business operates. So at the core of your business is the business process. So if you are talking about a hospital, this is about providing primary care. If you're talking about a manufacturer, this is their manufacturing plant. So at the core is the business process. And given that the business has to do well in the business process, if you are not able to manufacture a good product, then you can't succeed. If you are not able to provide a good care, nobody will come to your hospital. So at the center is the business process. But what we are saying is that that is not all you need to run a business. There are a lot of constraints which impact your business. On the left side of business process, you have, so input could be input from your competition. You want to know what your competition is doing. If competition is coming out with a better product, you have to compete and bring out an even better product. Vendor, the input to your business process is where the vendor provides their raw material, provides their input. Now, if the quality of the product given by vendor itself is bad, then your business process cannot be good. And of course, consumer, you have to think of consumer, the interest, what they need. If consumer need a smartphone, you cannot spend your effort and energy in developing feature phones. So these are some of the input constraints that your business has to undergo. And the other side, you have constraints like technology. If a new technology has come, which makes your job easier, better, more efficient, low cost, then you have to adopt to those technologies. You need to partner with various organizations. So manufacturer has to partner with a logistics provider, has to partner with a retailer so that they can reach out to the end customer. You also have to keep in mind the legal requirements, regulatory requirements, the political situation of the place. As a business, they operate under a lot of constraints. Now, these constraints are also drivers. Now, in the next few minute, we'll talk about where exactly business analyst fits into this overall picture and where data analyst comes into the whole scheme of things. So let's talk about a dashboard here. Okay, so this is a typical dashboard which your business analyst would create. This dashboard can give a lot of understanding about how the business is running. You want to understand how if from a manufacturer perspective, you can see how the factories are operating at, what is the efficiency level of your factory, are they running out of raw material, do they have too much of raw material which are getting wasted. So all those parameters will be shown on your screen. So your dashboard provides a visual representation of important metrics and allow businesses to track and monitor their performance in real time. This helps organizations to identify trends and patterns and make data-driven decisions to take corrective actions when necessary. So if you compare this with the previous slide where I spoke about the business altogether, so business has those components, has your internal problems. So you have your input constraints, output constraints. Now those input and output constraints need to be showcased to the management of your business. The people who are responsible to run the business, they need to understand those constraints. And dashboard is the best tool where you can show those constraints in a numerical format, in a quantitative manner, so that the business leaders can make decisions which will help the business to grow. For a minute, let's go back 30, 40 years back in time. So when IT industry was just developing, people were thinking about how to make the development process much easier. So they said that, okay, so they looked around and they saw construction industry using project lifecycle. So they thought, why not implement those project lifecycle into IT process as well, which will make their job easier, will make development of software easier. Then they came up with these four phases called plan, build, test, and implement. So you first plan what you want to build, then you actually build it. So it's like coding in IT industry. Then you test your application to make sure that the objectives are met, and then you implement it at your customer site. So they came up with these four phases, but still it didn't work. Now we'll talk about some of the problems which industry faced even after implementing project management lifecycle. Projects were exceeding the budget. Projects were not getting completed on time. Projects were getting stopped because the requirements they had initially thought of or they planned, as they moved closer to the finishing line, they realized that some of those requirements are not valid. Some of the requirements are not easily implementable. Stop the projects because of requirements not being handled properly. The cost, the projects overrunning the cost. They didn't have enough manpower. So as you see, almost one in every three projects were cancelled for various reasons before they could get completed. So that's where people thought that they need to get something new. There's something missing in that project lifecycle. So they said, okay, before we actually even start planning, let's spend some time to understand what customer wants. And that's when the people of IT industry, they said, okay, let's add two new phases, another two phases before planning. So you have describe and define. They were added before planning. So describe is about understanding the problem. So before you solve it, okay, you need to describe the problem that you are facing. So describe phase was added, and then can you define. How do you define the solution? What should the overall solution at a very high level should look like? Define the solution. Now it became easy for people to work on the planning phase. So they said, okay, this describe and define, we'll call it as business analysis phase. And planning to implement are part of your project management. So your business analysis is all about what customer wants. What is the problem that they're facing and how do they want to solve it? Your project management is all about how do I implement it? How do I solve it? So once you understand what to be solved, it becomes easier to solve it. So business analysis is all about what customer wants and what we need to develop, and your project management is about how to develop it. Now the picture was complete and projects were more successful than before. And if you look at a business analyst, they have to work with multiple people. They have to work with the owner to understand what they want from the business. They need to talk to subject matter experts to understand where the problem can come, which areas can fail. They need to talk to project managers to understand the progress made on the project, if there is any requirement or there's a problem which business analyst can fix. Now, business analysts are not expert in all of these areas, but since they make connection with project managers, the developers, the subject matter experts, the owner, they know whom to involve at what stage. So they can involve the right people at right stage. They can communicate the message to the right people so that the delays and things like that can be handled well in advance. So if you look at the whole process, business analysts are the person who understands the business because they are closer to the sponsor or the owner of the business. They understand the technical aspect because they are closer to project manager. They understand the challenges, the technical challenges, because they're closer to the solution developers. They understand the domain because they're closer to the subject matter experts. So business analyst probably is the only one who has connection or contact with every other people in the entire life cycle, project life cycle. Now coming back to data analyst role, the data analyst that we're talking about today is not something that got overnight created. It was in use for long time. So earlier, it started with your database developers. So these are the people who understands database. So they were working on databases. Slowly, they realize that they have a lot more power because they understand the data. And since they work on the various projects, they understand the domain, they started making data presentation to your management. They could use different tools like as simple as Excel or as complex as, let's say, Tableau to present your data in a manner which is easily understandable by the business, which they could use, analyze what has happened. So the role has developed from just being a developer, data developer, to data analyst, to data engineer. Okay, because today's world, data is everywhere. Data is in cloud, data is in your own machine, data could be on social media post. You need to get data from various sources. So data engineers helps to get the data from various sources, put them together, which can help your data scientist, or they would work on analyzing the data itself. So this is the evolution of data analyst role over the years. If you look at the roles of a data analyst, they start with collection of the data. So stage one is collection. So you can collect data from various sources. It could be from website URLs, your network drives, your files, your databases. When you collect this data from various sources, you have to put them in a format which is understood. So you need to transform the data in a manner which is easily understandable. And then on this data, you apply statistical knowledge. So you apply exploratory data analysis, you apply inferential analytics on it. Then that information goes to your dashboards. You prepare the dashboards, and these dashboards are presented to the management. Then management, when they see your dashboard, they understand the business and they will make decisions that will help the business. So if you look at the dashboards itself, which is the core job of the data analyst, so dashboards can help business improve decision making and streamlining the process, and also drive performance by providing easy access to relevant data and create insights. Businesses use dashboards for a variety of reasons, including monitoring key performance indicators. Dashboards provide a visual representation of important metrics and allow businesses to track and monitor their performance in real time. This helps organizations identify trends and patterns and make data-driven decisions and take corrective actions when necessary. In terms of improving efficiency and productivity, it allows employees to access and analyze data quickly and efficiently, saving time and effort. Dashboards also provide a holistic view of business process, allowing organizations to identify both opportunities and potential risks. By analyzing data from various departments and sources, business can proactively identify areas of improvement, optimize processes, and mitigate risk. Your dashboards can be configured to provide a real-time data, allowing businesses to monitor their operations and make timely decisions based on the most up-to-date information available. This agile approach enables businesses to respond quickly to market changes and react to emerging trends. So data analyst plays a critical role in the planning, development, and maintenance of dashboards to ensure that they effectively deliver insights and drive data-informed decision making. If we talk about the skills that are required to be a successful data analyst, you need to have hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are your knowledge about the domain, your statistical knowledge, mathematical knowledge, trying to understand different metric like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, what impact these have on the analysis of the data. The technical skills, your math skills. So these are your hard skills. And you also need to know problem solving skills, storytelling. When you present your analysis to the business, you have to tell in a fashion which they understand easily. They will not understand your statistical knowledge, but they'll understand your business knowledge, your curiosity to understand the problem, attention to details to understand so that you don't miss any aspect, creativity on how do you get the right information, how do you get the right insights from the data, collaboration, communication skills. These are the soft skills that a data analyst needs. So if you look at data science as a bigger umbrella, this has your business analyst as well as data analyst as part of this umbrella. So business analysts are people who are responsible for gathering and documenting business requirements, conducting stakeholder interviews, and facilitating meetings to ensure clear communication across departments. They also assess and document current business processes, identify areas of improvement, and design new workflows to optimize operations. Whereas your data analyst focus is on data collection, cleaning, and processing. They also conduct statistical analysis and create data models to identify trends, patterns, and correlations. Data analysts are responsible for creating reports, dashboards, and visualizations to effectively communicate their findings to stakeholders and decision makers. So while their roles have distinct focuses, business analysts and data analysts often collaborate closely in organizations. They collaborate to ensure that the business and the data requirements align, enabling the organizations to make data driven decisions that align with their strategic goals. So, while the work of business analysts and data analysts may differ, they both play essential roles in driving business growth and success through their valuable insights and analysis. With that, we stop this video here, and I'll see you in the next video on another tech topic.